By now you figured out that the theme for February is resilience. And I thought it's so appropriate that it's also Black History Month, thinking about resilient people. So as we consider our resilience, I want to open with a quote from Eric Greitens, who wrote a book titled Resilience, Hard-Won Wisdom for Living a Better Life. Life's reality is that we cannot bounce back. We cannot bounce back because we cannot go back in time to the people we used to be. The parent who loses a child never bounces back. The 19-year-old who sails for war is gone forever, even if he returns. You know that there is no bouncing back. There is only moving through. What happens to us becomes a part of us. Resilient people do not bounce back from hard experiences. They find healthy ways to integrate them into their lives. End quote. As I thought about the meaning of resiliency, I thought of a struggle I had in one of the many places I lived. It was a struggle with a banana tree. It was not where I wanted it to be. Too close to a walkway, I think. So I cut it down, right to the ground. Of course, it came back. Then I used a shovel, I was much younger then, and dug the roots out as best I could. In a few months, another green sprig appeared. Now that is resiliency. The will to survive regardless of the negative situation. And often resiliency is thought of as an individual characteristic. However, today I want to use the term as it relates to a group, namely our congregation. In their book, Resilience, Why Things Bounce Back, Andrew Zolli and Ann Healy describe resilience as the capacity of a system, enterprise, or person to maintain its core purpose and integrity in the face of dramatically changed circumstances. They continue with the idea that if we cannot control the big changes, we can at least learn to build better boats. Are we doing that? With the wholehearted response to the history wall exercise, excuse me, we demonstrated that we have the capacity to examine where we have been from the very early days up to and including this very last year. We read stories of fun and laughter. We read stories of confusion, pain, and anger. Then we took all the stories down and burned them in the fire pit. And we are still here. We demonstrated resilience, but we are not done. Have we changed? Have we made room in our hearts for the differences? Have we recognized that everyone was affected in a different way to similar events or occasions? Have we recognized that our common beliefs are stronger than our momentary disagreements? I want to share with you a quote from Patrice Marie Cullors-Brignac, one of the founders of the Black Lives Movement. She said that her work moves out of a place that asked, what does it take for humans to live in our full humanity and allow others to live in their full dignity? To quote, I don't believe spirit is this thing that lives outside of us dictating our lives, but rather our ability to be deeply connected to something that is bigger than us. I think that is what makes our work powerful. She also said, people's resilience is tied to their will to live, our will to survive, which is deeply spiritual. The fight to save your life is a spiritual fight. and a political choice to try to build a new way of fighting. It's not just about changing policies. It's not just about changing lives. It's about changing our culture. So how do we build a better boat? How do we demonstrate our resilience with such joy and love that others will want to be a part of our community? What are the tools we have at our disposal? What are the new tools we need to acquire? What is it that we need to learn? What kind of spiritual practice would help us do that? We are asked, I think, to see our lives in the context of the greater whole, to see ourselves in relationships with that whole. Sometimes it means coming face to face with our limitations. It means failing, letting ourselves or others down. It means living without meaning and finding ourselves searching. It means learning lessons and changing our ways. Sometimes it means just slowing down and paying attention. Why are we staying and choosing again what we chose before? In David Brooks' new book, The Second Mountain, he quotes Unitarian minister Galen Gingrich. We're here not so much to make spiritual progress each week, though that is wonderful when it happens. Rather, we mostly come for the consistency, for what remains the same week to week, the comfort of the liturgy, the solace of the music, the reassuring sight of familiar faces, the enduring presence of ancient rites and timeless symbols. We're here to remind ourselves of values that unite us and commitments that keep us heading in the right direction. We're here to choose again what we chose before. And hopefully we find too that our own capacity for resilience grows. Hopefully we can be sustained for the longer haul. Life has a way of calling us into life. It is a way of pulling us out of some place of isolation and bringing us to someplace else, a place where we may not even know we needed to be. Part of our job is to show up and live out of that place, to take risks, to keep reaching out. Sometimes we are just too comfortable and are so surrounded with things that we stop paying attention to what is really important. But that can also keep us from the holy. The truth is, we are all in this together. The truth is, we are all learning and growing and fumbling and failing and succeeding together. Resilience, too, is something we can draw upon and help create together. I will close with this poem from Mary Oliver, The Swimming Lesson. Feeling the icy kick, the endless waves reaching around my life, I moved my arms and coughed, and in the end saw land. Somebody, I suppose, remembering the medieval maxim, had tossed me in and had wanted me to learn to swim. Not knowing that none of us who ever came back from that long, lonely fall and frenzied rising ever learned anything at all about swimming, but only how to put off, one by one, dreams and pity, love and grace, how to survive in any place.
Good morning, everybody. I am very honored to be following my dear friend and inspiring speaker, Miss Lois. Thank you so much. I promise I'll only take about a couple hours, so just relax, okay? It'll only take a little resilience, right, to last 3 or 4 hours. No pee breaks. This is like an S seminar. Okay? All right. Now to the actual. I am honored the Reverend Roberta asked Lois and I to talk about resilience, and more specifically, congregational resilience. I think considering what this congregation has been through, it is an invaluable topic to address. I view resilience as the capacity to recover from difficulties, toughness, the ability to bend and stretch without breaking. I understand resilience all too well. In 2001, I don't know what's going around. In 2001, at the age of 42, right at Thanksgiving, a virus attacked my body, inflaming my neurological and immune systems. Within weeks, I was experiencing almost indescribable pain at the base of my spine. When a year later, I was still in incapacitating pain and was no longer doing the work I loved as a counselor and mental health program administrator, I came to deeply understand resilience. A few years later, when the pain began to spread to other parts of my body, my understanding of resilience deepened again. Eventually, unable to work, I lost my life savings, my career, and my professional identity. My partner of 13 years left. Again, I came to understand resilience. Let me be clear, I didn't just bend and stretch. I broke over and over again till I was shattered into unrecognizable pieces. Every day I would attempt to put myself back together into some semblance of the man I know as David. I was existing in my parents' basement when resilience came for me again. The pain had spread again. This time I awoke to the sensation of my eyes on fire, as though someone had poured acid into my eyes. Every part of my body was now being tortured 24/7. There is a huge difference between pain and torture. Pain is manageable. Torture is a soul destroyer. There was no escape from myself. I was pain, nothing else. Life was reduced to trying to make it through one breath to the next, nothing more. At the same time, groceries had to be bought, food made, bills paid, dishes in the house cleaned. This was my life for 18 years. Let that sink in. 18 years. Tortured like Prometheus, eaten away by pain all day, every day, only to awake and go through it again and again. As a result, I know resilience. I understand resilience. I live in resilience. I realize that sadly, my experience is not unique. There are many others in this congregation who suffer with daily excruciating physical and emotional pain. Many of you who have survived unspeakable traumas through the strength of your resilience. So to be honest, the last thing I want to do is come to church, my sanctuary, and need to be resilient. Are you kidding me? I want church to be easy, gentle, my escape from the difficulties of my daily life and the stresses of the world at large. Church should be a place to charge my batteries, not to potentially deplete them. I'm sure many of you feel the same. So I was devastated when a little over a year ago, this church blew apart. My sanctuary exploded into a million pieces. Friends left. Friends were attacking and denigrating each other. Coherent leadership was lacking and dysfunctional. Church was often a war zone. Coming every Sunday, participating in church activities required utilizing resources I could not afford to waste. I thought often of withdrawing, escaping from the psychodrama of UUCJ by just staying home or even relinquishing my membership. I know I am not alone in those feelings. And yet, over a year later, here I am, not only still here, but also on this pulpit today. Part of the transition team. And for whatever reasons, over a year later, and you are still here. Those that have been with the church a long time and relative newcomers who decided to hang with this congregation even though this was a time of great challenges and divisiveness. Over the past few months, as I have co-facilitated groups and activities, I discussed with many of you why you are still here, why you haven't left. I have heard a variety of beautiful answers highlighting the importance of this church to you, highlighting why you are willing, maybe with great reluctance, to utilize your precious resilience for healing, strengthening, rebuilding this congregation. In return, let me share with you some of my reasons for ultimately deciding to stay with this church, to use my precious resilience with and at this church, this congregation. If I leave this church, what are my options? When I lived in the San Francisco Bay Area, there were many options. Many UU churches in the area, many other liberal, progressive, spiritually eclectic, gay welcoming churches, ashrams, temples, and communities to choose from. Here in Jacksonville, that's not the case. Yes, there is Buckman Bridge UU, which for me is too far away, and a select few other churches. But for a city with a metro population of over 1 million, we are basically in the equivalent of a spiritual food desert, similar to the dire lack of places to find and buy quality, nutritious groceries in many low-income areas of Jacksonville and other cities. We live in the conservative Deep South. Jacksonville needs this church to survive, to thrive, to be a gathering place for those looking for other like-minded souls committed to social justice, equality of all, caring for our Mother Earth, and many other essential issues. It is not as if we close our doors, another similar church will just pop up to take our place, like the Winn-Dixie currently taking over the old Publix on the north side. In my humble opinion, Jacksonville desperately needs us. And actually, I'm not humble. Those young and old are starving for a community like UUCJ. At our best, a healthy UUCJ is a vital and desperately needed rare resource for mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being in a city and country infected with rage at others different from ourselves, despair, and disharmony. Also, I love the people I have met at this church, not at the Buckman Bridge UU, but at this place, this church. And honestly, I'll admit there are a few people here I could do without. I'm not looking at anyone in particular. But no place is perfect, and I have to admit I am not perfect, which is very difficult for me to admit. But overall, there are so many wondrous people I have met and are continuing to meet here at UUCJ. I am so grateful for that, for so many of you who have touched my life. As a result, I chose slowly, over time, to not run away, disappear, or just stay home, but slowly to use my resilience to assist in strengthening our UUCJ congregation. Like many of you, I did so hesitantly, reluctantly, with great trepidation. And yet again, here I am, standing here, participating here over a year later, and here you are too. I want to thank you for using your resilience to rebuild, reaffirm, recommit to reimagining this congregation, this church. I would hope you all recognize how resilient you are, how strong you are, even if all you have done is to continue to show up, even if it's been just once, every once in a while. That takes resilience and courage. Let's continue to build upon our new and hopefully strengthened foundation. I encourage you all to be spiritual UUCJ warriors. Every member of this congregation to be emboldened to hold each other accountable to treating each other with respect and compassion at all times, and even more so at moments of conflict and disturbance. To have the courage and strength to role model living in covenant, even with those you disagree with or just generally find off-putting. This is the sanctuary we truly need. We, UUCJ, are worth your resilience. Thank you. As a coda, I invite all of you to stretch, bend, and grow even further by participating in the UUCJ Visioning Workshop, Searching for the Future, this Saturday from 10 to 1. We are hoping for a large turnout, and I encourage you all to share your voice and your wisdom as we move forward one healthy step at a time. We have over 60 people already registered. That's amazing. Please join us. If you have any questions or need assistance in registering, so if you need assistance in registering, please see Terry, Lois, or myself after the service in the social hall. And if you appreciated this sermon, the David Seiken Collection Fund will be in a basket down below. Okay. As a single man, if you know anyone that's single and might do your duty as a good church community congregation, and introduce me. Thank you.